Hello, and welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. You can see a new background. It's because I just moved to a new location. So anyhow, the topic or the title of this talk is Consciousness Makes All the Decisions. And it's based on a question somebody asked me, and the question is, good morning, Nick. Happy holidays. I was watching a video by Robert Adams earlier where he said, you are not conscious of consciousness. Consciousness is conscious of you. Then everything you've always talked about regarding the individual we believe ourselves to be came flooding back to me. However, a question arises. If consciousness is conscious of us, who makes the decision? It or us? I often find it very difficult to decide for fear of making mistakes. But is that fear really mine, or is it a matter of consciousness? How can I discern when it comes from one or the other? I'll share with you what I wrote in writing my reply, and then we'll elaborate a bit. I said, when you're sleeping and dreaming, who makes the decisions? The figure in the dream or the mind that is dreaming it? The answer is obvious. So, if consciousness is conscious of you, since you are an apparition or a manifestation or a projection within it, who makes the decisions? If it is difficult to decide, it is not because you find it difficult to decide. It is simply that in your script, being an indecisive person is part of your role. Therefore, don't let your mind keep running around as this is not something you choose anyway. And simply rest in what is. And watch as your story unfolds, remembering that you are not that separate individual, but rather consciousness itself. As you can see, it's very simple once you get the basics clear. If I am a projection of whatever that is, you can call it consciousness, you can call it God, you can call it essence, you can call it whatever. But whatever it is that we are a projection of, we are not the one choosing anything. We're just watching the play unfold. Some people seem to be very indecisive, and some people may seem to be very assertive. But it's not because one studied how to become assertive and the other one needs to somehow learn how not to be indecisive. Just that's how the play is unfolding. You see? But if we get caught up in those trivial questions, we're just overlooking the fact that we are, and that's where these videos are pointing to. The fact is that you are, right now, you cannot not be. You are being, and that beingness is the background in which everything seems to appear and disappear. Consequently, there's no need to worry or concern or make an issue about this. You simply observe life happening. Now, the thoughts that always come up, okay, that sounds fine, but what if something happens that I need to do something that needs my attention, or a danger or something? We're going back to the basics. Right now, are you in that situation? And the answer is no. Right now, you're watching a video or listening to a video or an audio. It doesn't matter how you have it, in which format. That's all there is. That's all that is happening. And it's not even a choice you made, it's what happened. Therefore, it's always coming back to myself. It's not about the possibilities of what could happen. Now, to answer that question, would be this. If something like that were to happen, well, you will see how life through you will make the decisions to deal with that. But right now, that's not what's happening. And what we're pointing is to the fact that I am. That's why these videos are always reminding the same thing. When I say that if you don't identify with the content of the mind, which is the one making up all the stories, what remains? And what remains is what is. That's it. This is the whole thing. There's nothing else. There's no issue about it. If I find myself having an issue being indecisive, well, I guess that's what's happening. And maybe in that moment, a decision comes and, well, that's what's happening. Right now, making this video, that's what's happening. See, it's very simple. It's all happening or seeming happening. And you see how the mind takes the present moment experience and goes into some sort of a story. It begins to narrate the whole thing. All we're doing is looking at the narration that is showing up on its own, because we're not creating the narration. We're not narrating anything. We're just simply that in which the narration seems to appear. That is why it's so obvious and it's so overlooked. Because you simply are. And you are being right now, and this is it. And you see how life unfolds. In my case, look, now I'm in a new place. And life will continue to unfold as it will. I have no idea how it will unfold, because life is this moment. This is it. And if I don't believe whatever story the mind wants to conjure up, I experience the peace that surpasses all understanding, in spite of where I am or who I am with or what I have or what I do or don't do. See? So you see how all questions finally boils down to the same thing. So right now I am. Isn't it? Right now, aren't you? And like I said in the answer, I also said that you're not even the one choosing not believing the content of the mind, but this is how it appears to be. It seems as though there's a me reminding you that if you don't believe the content of the mind, and it appears as if there's a you that can make that choice or not. But we know that in the end, this is just consciousness speaking to itself. When you're sleeping and you're dreaming, even there's a conversation or seem to be a conversation among two people in the dream, the conversation comes from the same source, which implies that the conversation is not a conversation, it's a monologue. It's the mind talking to itself, or consciousness talking to itself, or that talking to itself. Here we're making it very simple. Just observe how life is unfolding. And now you rest as the observer, or should I say as the witness. Again, this is dualistic terminology that we have to use. You know, dualistic implies if there's an observer, that means there's something to be observed, but I don't know what words to use. Right now, you are. This is where this is pointing to. Right here, right now. That's it. End of story. And well, this is inspiration that came through. I hope it served. And as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can become evident.